Hey everybody, Smith Sly here. Before we send it to the episode today, a few things I want to know. First off, we recorded this episode right before the Washington State University North Texas game happened. So if you were following the Cougs, you know what happened in that game. So please do not judge us for our opinions and our takes and our predictions in this episode because it came out right before that game played. Second, Gaige's microphone when he was up there in the studio with us, unfortunately, was not turned on for the first two segments. I didn't catch that. I caught it when we went into our Seahawks segment. So his audio is fixed for that, but I went back and edited it a little bit to try and pick up his audio a little bit more. So yeah, a couple things didn't quite go right this episode, but still, at the end of the day, here's Slice of Seattle.
You are listening to Slice of Seattle on KUGR Cougar College Radio.
Good morning, Cougs. You are listening to Slice of Seattle on KUGR Cougar College Radio, the sports podcast for everything Seattle sports. We got Smith Sly alongside Connor Seuferling and Gaige Anderson in the booth. How are we doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Can't go wrong with college football Saturday.
Oh, yeah. It's a bit of an awkward time we're doing the show. We're doing it here 12 about lunchtime. The game is about, 12:30, I believe?
I think so.
So, we're doing this live and post this later, so, it's kind of a little bit outdated by that point. But still, I mean, we got to talk some Cougar sports. 2 weeks under their belts, 2-0. I mean, they got off to a rocky start against the University of Idaho, 13-10 against. I mean, granted, U of I is a top FCS school, so I'll be okay with that. Still first week with Jimmy Rogers, only put up 13 points. That kind of sucks. But you turned it around immediately week 2, 36 points against SDSU, who's a really quality program. You beat them 36-13. So I mean, that's just a huge turnaround. The offense looked a lot better. I kind of want to ask you guys, how are we feeling about this? How are we feeling about this Jimmy Rogers regime after those first 2 weeks?
I love it. I love Jimmy Rogers. First of all, his attitude is amazing. Anything he talks about, I'm like, okay, this is a football coach right here. And I think he's really getting the team in shape, and the defense looks so much better than it has in years, where I'm like, I can get behind this.
You went to the presser, a few days ago, right? Yeah. From what I understand, he sounds like he's so intentional with his guys, and I mean, not saying Jake Dicker wasn't like that. That Jake Dicker was definitely a high energy motivator, a guy who really did care about his guys. But I think there's some sort of mindset that Rogers is really instilling in this program that feels like the standard is being raised just a bit. And I feel like the loyalty also within the program is definitely building up as well. So, it was a rough start, and I still think we really should have been winning that game by 15 points rather than 3 points.
Yeah.
15 at the least. But Idaho's a solid FCS program, so we can live with that. But turning around that week 2 game, I think he's just going to keep running with this program, and I think we're going to be looking at a little bit more of a solid season than I was thinking at the start.
Yeah, and we kind of fixed some things going in that second game. When you looked at that U of I game, we had Jackson Potter trying to run the ball himself. I don't know why we were trying to do that. The first couple of drives of that U of I game, he was trying to just take the ball himself. I'm like, what are you doing? You are a pocket passer. You are not John Mateer. You can't run the ball. Don't try and do that. That's why we have Julian Duggar. He's the guy who is supposed to run the ball. And in that SDSU game, we saw kind of them figure out that's hey, this is our identity. We got within 5 yards, and we put in Julian Duggar, and he ran the ball in for a touchdown. That should be the formula. That should literally just be how it is. Jackson Potter passes downfield and then sets us up 5 yards, and we get Julian Duggar. So how you guys feeling about that? Those two quarterbacks. We don't have a dual threat quarterback per se, but are you think we can be able to lean on those two guys to be able to get it done?
I feel like Potter's the guy. I'm still surprised, right? I mean, before going into the season, about a week before, I was saying that I think Potter's going to be the starter, and I still feel good about that. I feel like that's the right decision. It sucks to not see Zevi out there, especially in his senior year, not getting the chance to really lead this program and be the successor to Mateer. But I think Potter's presence between the first 2 games, and especially in that San Diego State game, looked a lot better. Now, Julian Duggar, I think, is such an interesting guy. I still am a little confused. Like, I get it. We were trying to figure out what the QB play was going to look like in that first game, but I think putting him in for those couple of drives, Julian Duggar, it didn't feel right. He looked off. His passing game didn't look great. Maybe we'll give him more opportunities, but I think treating him very much as this specialized guy who's focused on the run game is definitely the way to go, but we'll see how it turns out.
Kind of like Milrow on the Seahawks.
Yeah, in
absolutely.
a way.
Yeah, where he's just like that kind of guy who you bring in. He's very athletic. He can come in. He can run, but the arm isn't quite exactly there. And like where we have like those two QBs, it's kind of a similar situation with the running back room where we kind of have 4 running backs that we're leaning on. I thought it was going to be Angel Johnson was going to be like our Ashton Genty. He's like pretty comparable. Like he's short, muscular, just a little like a mini tank. But you can immediately tell Angel Johnson is not like it. I mean, Ashton Genty's a bit of an anomaly. But still, I was thinking he was going to be like our running back number 1. He was going to be awesome. But Kirby Voorhees like really kind of knocked my socks off. He was not on my radar very much. And then Pualasi coming in for a couple of those reps. Maxwell Woods, who I was like, he was like what 3rd, 4th string or something like that. I was like, there's no way he's seen the field. And they used all 4 of those guys. And so that's why like you look at all these guys, their stats aren't like amazing. But that's because they're splitting the reps between those 4 guys. So I don't know. The running back room to me is like it's weird, but it works in my opinion.
I want to talk about the coaching change from the first game to the second game as well. The first game, Rodgers was really trying to run the ball, in the offense wasn't having it. Like, they weren't able to run the ball. And then in the second game, he adjusted so well to flipping his game plan. Jackson Potter threw 42 passes in that game, the most in a Jimmy Rodgers game since he started coaching.
Oh, seriously?
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, so he's really leaning on Potter then.
That just shows like adaptation there, right? I think the first game was a little bit rough, but I think that's him just really understanding we're at the FBS level now. And not saying that all FBS schools are teams that are going to air the ball out constantly, but this program, was, especially in that Mike Leach era, was built on the air raid, and we don't necessarily have the personnel to completely replicate that. And this is not an offense that I think is going to be completely air raid, but that's how our program identity has been for so long. And so I feel, taking advantage of Potter's ability to be tall, be a presence in the pocket, air the ball out, and I think his accuracy is just getting a little bit better each week. This feels like the right move.
Gotcha, yeah. And go ahead.
We also got to get the ball in our playmakers' hands, like Josh Meredith.
Oh, yeah.
We're not throwing to him enough.
Yeah.
He's electric when he has the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's the wide receiver 1, and we've gotten it to him not enough. And so I feel like if we're able to get the ball in his hands, we will be a lot better as a team.
Yeah, it's weird to me that Tony Freeman is leading the team with for passing yards, I think, which is like, I wasn't thinking Tony Freeman was going to... this whole year has been names that I did not think I was going to need to be paying attention to. I'm having to pay attention to. Like Trey Lechner, our tight end, had 2 touchdowns in that SDSU game.
I love Trey.
Trey, I was not familiar with his game. Apparently, he's a pretty good tight end. And then Leon Neal Jr., I think, got his first touchdown as a Coug, potentially. It was at least his first of the season. But I was just also not expecting him at all. And so but you're saying, it wasn't Josh Meredith. It wasn't Jeremiah Noga, who I thought was going to be kind of the guy we were targeting at all. And I do think maybe they're doing that intentionally. Maybe they're using Meredith as a decoy or Noga as a decoy. They know that they're going to be looking for those guys. But I don't know. I definitely think we need to be targeting those guys more.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is Potter's hitting everywhere on the field.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important with a good quarterback, especially one that's a pocket presence like Potter.
Yeah.
And so I think him being able to hit everyone on the field is very important. I would just like to see them get the ball in Josh Meredith's hands more.
I agree. Between 2 games, we have 11 different receivers with a reception, and I think that's great. I mean, Potter spreading the ball around, but yeah, I totally agree. Meredith, he still leads the team in receiving yards, but Freeman's got the most receptions, most targets.
There we go. Yeah.
So, if we can lean on those 2 guys as our top options, I think that's great. But Meredith has proved he's one of the best open field, run after the catch kind of guy that I've seen from the Cougs in the past couple of years, and so I want us to keep feeding him the ball.
Yeah, I remember like I was going into the preseason for the Cougs and everything, looking forward. I think I wrote an article for the Evergreen where I was like doing like top 5 Cougs at every position, and when I was looking at Josh Meredith, even looking back to last year, he was a stud. Like there were highlights from the Apple Cup where he was reeling in touchdowns, and I was like, this guy's looking really good. I mean, like I definitely think it's like whereas last year was Kyle Williams and Josh Meredith, this year it's now Josh Meredith, Jeremiah Noga. I feel like. So it's like those two kind of wide receivers who are just really studs. And yeah, I think we need to be targeting them a little bit more going into this North Texas game. Speaking of that North Texas game, I mean, I think the odd makers have us as the underdogs for that game. What was
It was like a 6-point line, 5-point line, something like that.
In favor of
WSU is plus 6.5.
Got you. So basically, they're saying that they're thinking North Texas is going to win by about 6.5.
Betting odds, if you're plus, it means you are the underdog.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I didn't really know that North Texas existed, to be honest with you. But apparently their QB is really good. So, I mean, Gaige, you wrote a preview for that series too. So, how are we feeling about that North Texas team?
Yeah, they look pretty good. I think they rank about where we are at. I think we're kind of even.
Yeah.
I think what this game is going to come down to is the defenses.
Yeah.
Our defense can stop Messmaker?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly.
If they can stop him, then I think we'll be in a good spot. Because he's dual threat, so he can run, he can throw, and so he's a very dangerous quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, this is also kind of a revenge game for us. Eric Morris on the other side, he was our old OC.
Nice.
So just take a page out of his playbook and maybe run it up against them would be nice. It will be interesting to see how we play this game. North Texas has scored a lot of points to start the year. Now, I can't say they've played any tough opponents. They played Lamar.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson. No. Lamar and Western Michigan. And Western Michigan, they almost lost that game. And that's not necessarily a good football program by any means. So I got to feel good about our defense matching up with them. But I still feel that's an offense that has a guy who has coached at a high level in college football before, leading that offense. And so I'm a little bit worried. We'll see how this is going to be a good test for us.
Yeah, I want to get your guys' score predictions for this game. Like you mentioned, the North Texas has put up quite a few points so far in this year, but again, this is kind of like their first real test of someone kind of at their level. So I think this game is going to be a little bit more lower scoring than it has been before. So I'm going to go. I mean, obviously a little bit biased. I'm going to go in favor of the Cougs. I'm going to go Cougs 21. I'm going to go North Texas 17.
Sweet.
Pretty much. What do you got?
I'm going to go. Again, obviously a little bit of bias, but the way we played against San Diego State, and again, I'm not saying San Diego State's a great football program, but they're an upgrade over Idaho.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say 24 Cougs, North Texas 20. I think it's going to be a close game.
I like it.
I'm going to say 27 Cougs.
Nice.
21 North Texas.
Interesting. All right. I like it. Yeah, I mean, North Texas is probably going to give us a bit of a challenge. Again, like you said, I think, though, looking at the SDSU game, who, again, not the best football program, but still a really quality team, and you were kind of able to beat up on them, I think that makes you're looking pretty good going into this North Texas game. And the defense for the Cougs has been great. So I think you got the defense, if it's firing on all cylinders, with Jesse Bobbitt, the SDSU, South Dakota State defensive coordinator brought over from Jimmy Rogers, and you get the offense kind of going with those 4 running backs, maybe target Josh Meredith a little bit more and Nelga a little bit more. I think the Cougs come away with a Week 3 win. That would be 3 weeks undefeated, which, I mean, that would be pretty electric if you're a Coug fan. So
we just got to hope that they're also on the road.
Yeah.
And so that obviously changes the game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's Jimmy Rogers' first real test, I feel like, this year.
Yeah.
And so we got to hope that they can get it done on the road.
Yeah.
They got a safety last week, so I'm really counting on that defense.
Yeah. This defense is I think I've talked about it a lot. Defense usually doesn't get me that fired up, but this defense for the Cougs is getting me fired up. It's so fun. And then they're going on the road to play North Texas, and then they'll come back home for the home Apple Cup matchup, which I'm really looking forward to. And we'll do an episode that day as well. So I mean, I'm just really looking forward to that. I think this is the first time in a few years now that the Apple Cup has been in Pullman. So I mean, yeah, again, if you're a Coug fan, this is a great year for Cougar sports, so I'm pretty excited. But yeah, that's going to do it for Cougs. Guys, we are going to move in, and we're going to talk about the Mariners. Guys, there have been so many ups and downs in the season. After that road swing, I was thinking it was all over. And then we sweep the Cardinals, and we picked up back-to-back just close wins against the Angels. I mean, guys, I think the Etsy witch was right. I think that was the right move there. If you don't know that story, so apparently Mariners fan went on Etsy, which I don't know how exactly to describe Etsy. It's just kind of like...
It's like an arts and crafts style, handmade vintage website.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Not really somewhere you would find a witch.
Exactly. Yeah, no. So some guy went on Etsy, found a witch, and basically just paid to have her uncurse the Mariners. And ever since then, we've been 7-0. So
That's a real Mariners fan right there.
Yeah.
Just feeling the feels, you know.
honestly, apparently it's working because we're
I need her-
7-0.
I need her to curse the Astros.
Honestly, that's the next play in the playbook. We got to get another Etsy witch to curse the Astros because I mean, hey, things are heating up, dude. There's nothing like September baseball. Like I like October baseball because it's the playoffs, but September is just another breed because everyone is just it's a dogfight to get to the postseason. And right now, it is so close. Both the Mariners and the Astros tied for first place. And I mean, the last couple series of this, you're going to finish out this series against the Angels. Then you go on the road to play against the Kansas City Royals, stay on the road to play against the Houston Astros. And I think that that's going to be the series of the year for the Mariners right now. When you're this close with the Astros for first place in the division, you go play them at home. That's like a must-win series because if we don't win that series, it's all over. But I mean, I think we're looking pretty tight. We have the Etsy Witch on our side, so I think that we're looking pretty good going into that series. I want to kind of gauge your guys' feelings about this last little stretch of the season so far.
I think every game is going to matter.
Yeah.
Obviously, that Astros series, if we continue to win games, and so do they, that's going to be like probably the postseason breaker right there.
Yeah.
But I think if they keep playing the way they're playing, we're going to make it to the postseason.
Yeah.
And we're going to be number one.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I like the sound of that. I mean, I definitely get behind that idea that every game matters at this point. It really does. We have the Rockies series in there, which is nice. That gives us hopefully a little bit of a break in there. That should be a sweep.
We cannot
Not lose a single game.
We cannot lose a game in that
I
series.
think there's a good chance we might lose one game. But then I think it's going to come down to we need to either sweep the Astros,
Yeah.
or we can lose one to the Astros and sweep
The
the
Rockies.
Rockies.
Yeah.
The thing with this season is there's been a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, we're a decent amount above 500 right now. We're feeling good.
Mhm.
But it's been a lot of stretches, right? We peel off like 5 series wins in a row, and then we drop like 5-6 losses in a row, right?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, a little bit more ups than downs, but I think it's going to be important to keep riding this momentum. And if we are going to slow down a little bit, we at least need to be pulling. Like, even if we're not going to be getting sweeps in these series, we still need to be winning most of these series, if not all of these series, going the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And so it is definitely going to come down to that Astros series. It's going to be very important.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that this Mariners team right now, like, don't get me wrong, that 2022 Mariners team was pretty fun to watch and had some good big names on it. I think this Mariners team, the 2025 Mariners, right now, after the trade deadline, might be the funnest team to watch in postseason baseball. You got Josh Naylor, Gino, Cal Raleigh, Julio. You have, Cy Young candidates on your starting pitching staff. So it's like this is a team that if they make it to the postseason, we're gonna pack out T-Mobile every single game. It's gonna be absolutely electric. So it's like there's no worser year for you to like not make playoffs because you have the team to do it and you have the team that'll be super fun. Because like Josh Naylor is like I can tell is one of those guys where if he gets to the postseason, he's gonna be electric. He just has that kind of mentality of
He has that swagger.
yeah.
That's not a word we use too often anymore, but he's got that swagger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's because he's gritty, and there's no one else on this Mariners team that's as gritty as he is, and he's just like he's mean, and that's the thing. Like this identity of this Mariners team has always been, not necessarily family wouldn't be the word I'd use, but it's like they vibe together well. They're very good vibes. Like Gino's a good example. Good vibes only, right? Not saying that Naylor doesn't have good vibes, but he's like, there's a reason why his nickname is the Big Grumper. He just always looks really mad all the time, constantly. But it's him and it's Randy, who I think are the two guys who are going to be, when they get to the postseason, they turn it on. You think about 2020 playoff Randy Arozarena when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, he's built for the big moments. He comes in, he plays really well. So you get both those guys to the postseason, that's just going to be super, super electric. And I'm going to absolutely just love watching that.
I feel like Randy is so underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's behind Cal Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
But Randy is so good. He's so good at the plate.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. And you were saying this is the funnest team maybe we've had in a while for the Mariners. Is it a hot take to say that this is the best version of the Mariners we've had in 15 years?
Ooh.
I don't know. That 2022 playoff team was very special, but now we've got peak Raleigh, and Raleigh got us to the playoffs on that big home run that everybody talks about.
Yep.
Great call there.
Yep.
But I don't know. We've got a better version of Raleigh. I think we've got a pitching staff that, when it's healthy, that is a key. But when it's healthy, and maybe even going to this postseason, is on par with that pitching staff, if not better. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think, without a doubt, this is the best team the Mariners have had in the past 15 years.
Okay.
That's like, you think about this past 15 years have been abysmal for the Mariners, yet to put together a good team, yet to make it to the postseason. You've had big names, but then you've had a lot of nobodies on that team who've just kind of been in the shadows, they didn't produce very much. It's not like you had nobodies who were producing, you had nobodies who were being nobodies. So I think, yes, I think it is the best team in the past 15 years. And I think this team, because there's still a lot more left in the year for them to prove themselves, have the potential to be the best team this Mariners organization has ever put together. I think they could be better than the 2001 Mariners who made 116 games, lost to the Astros, the Yankees in the I think it was the AL division. They would have gone to the World Series. They have the potential to be better than that 2001 team, and I'm a huge Mariners fan. I love that 2001 team because I had Ichiro on it, and I love Ichiro. But I will have no shame in saying this could be better than that 2001 team, without a doubt.
I don't know if I have that same hype. I love the optimism. I thought I was going out on a limb for saying this could be better than the 2022 team. And I was just checking back on them a second ago, and it's like they're a 90-win team, we're an 80-win team, and we've got, I think, 14, 15 games left of baseball. I think. Yeah. I don't know if we can get to that 90-win mark, but the talent on this team just feels a little bit better than that team. 2001, man, I don't know. That's because I do think we are going to flame out in the playoffs. I really think we are. I do feel better about our ability to do good in the divisional round, but I don't know. But I do like the optimism.
Yeah. No, we do. Yeah, we tend to kind of flare out a little bit. Even going back to 2001, I think a lot of people in 2001 thought that we were going to be the World Series champions because we won 116 games. And
we looked like the best team in decades. I'm not gonna lie. That team looked really good.
But that's the thing where it's the concept in hockey too. I think it's like the President's Trophy curse, where it's the team that wins the most amount of games and then goes into the Stanley Cup will always end up not winning the Stanley Cup, and it usually doesn't go that far in playoffs because they get hurt because they won the most games in the regular season. I think it's kind of the same thing for the Mariners, or back in 2001. They won 116 games, but they just couldn't quite. Then they got a little bit tired. They go play against the Yankees, and I have some strong opinions about that Yankees loss in that series because obviously it was 2001, which is was during 9/11, so everyone was like the Yankees, New York has to go win this kind of series. So that was it was like a healing moment for the United States and everything. But I don't know about you, but I really hate the Yankees, so I would have really loved to see the Mariners go and win that. Go to the World Series. Not even if they won, just that they go to the World Series. I think we are still the only team to not have even been to the World Series at all.
We're one of them. I know that. I don't know if there's more, but I know for a fact.
That's the thing. But still, which is embarrassing to me because then it's again when I talk about there are teams I forget exist in Major League Baseball. We're one of those teams for a lot of other fan bases. They forget that the Mariners exist because we haven't done anything in forever.
We are the only team, just by the way.
Oh yeah. I was right. No. But, yeah. The other thing I want to talk about, too, is Harry Ford got the call-up a couple games ago. I think his MLB debut didn't do anything. He, struck out his first at-bat. And then...
He had bad appearances.
Yeah. And then, I believe, two games ago, I believe it was against the Angels, hits that walk-off fly ball in the 13th inning.
It wasn't last night. It was the night before.
Yeah, against the Angels. Man. That was pretty electric. And again, I think I talked about it. I feel like don't lose your minds over this and be like, holy cow, it was a fly ball, guys. It was an out. It was an out. It's a sac fly. It was
super fun, but it was a sac fly.
It was a sac fly. It's that's the other thing where it's people would get we're freaking out over Cole Young's walk off, and I was like, guys, it was a swinging bunt, guys. It wasn't he didn't hit a home run. He didn't hit a hard line drive into the outfield. It was he made a mistake, and so he happened to pan out for him. But it's still, I love it, but don't lose your minds over it.
You know who did hit a home run?
Who?
Leo Rivas. What have you done?
Leo, what a call from Aaron Goldsmith.
Goldsmith has been on a run recently. The past like 3-4 walk-off / like go-ahead games we've had, like he's been killing it, man.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So that was electric too. Leo Rivas, I mean, that's his second career home run in the MLB, I think. He's a guy who's like, I was going to say he's a young guy. He's actually not that young. I think he's been in the league
He's
for
27, I just checked.
Yeah, which is like, he's not, I think for comparison, Josh Naylor's 28, I think. And Josh Naylor, I feel like, has been in the league for a while too. I think also Cal is like 30 on the dot. So it's like, Leo Rivas has been here for a while. He just hasn't quite been able to be a consistent major league guy. And that swing for that home run was a little weird too. It was like a chicken wing swing. Like he didn't like fully go all the way through, which is like that just means he got pure barrel on it and it just carried out. I thought it was also so funny too when I was watching that because it was in the 13th inning and everyone left. So it was like he hits it into right field, into the stands, and there's like 10 people there trying to catch it. And I was just like, yeah, that's Mariners baseball. We leave. If it goes to the 9th inning and goes past that, everyone leaves. You're like, we've got to go home.
Back-to-back late nights for the Mariners.
Yeah.
But boy, back-to-back 2 smoking wins.
Dude, again, the Etsy witch works. It's just apparently it works. I mean, like, I think we're going to talk Seahawks here in a little bit, but apparently there was a Seahawks super fan who also recently reached out to an Etsy witch to try and uncurse the Seahawks after the week 1 loss to the 49ers.
We're winning the Super Bowl, baby.
We're winning the Super Bowl pretty much because of the Etsy witch. It works. The only problem is now like everyone's going to figure out that hack, and then everyone's gonna start reaching out to like Etsy witches.
Hey, good business for the Etsy witches.
I know.
Making bank.
Honestly,
I don't know. I saw something that Etsy witch is like off Etsy now. Like doesn't have her shop open anymore or something. I don't know. Yeah, apparently, I don't know. I was just like, wow, you got to be taking advantage of the situation. Like, come on, man. I don't know. I think we got to keep the Seattle sports thing. Seattle fans, keep it a Seattle sports thing.
Exactly. Yeah, we can't let anybody else figure out the strategy for winning games. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the Mariners. We're gonna take a quick break here, and we will be back to talk some Seahawks. We'll have Connor Seuferling and Gaige Anderson back in the booth for that as well. You're listening to Slice of Seattle live on KUGR. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Welcome back to Slice of Seattle on KUGR Cougar College Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to Slice of Seattle on KUGR. We are back in the booth with Gaige Anderson and Connor Seuferling, and we're going to close out today by talking some Seahawks. Week 1 for the Seahawks, lose to the 49ers in a bit of a close game. I mean, Nick Bosa stripped the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands. They drove all the way downfield, which I don't think there's more of a heartbreaking way for you to lose a game than that. But look, I mean, there's just a lot to take away from that first week of Seahawks football. How are you guys kind of feeling? I'm kind of wondering how you guys are feeling about Sam Darnold specifically.
I don't know, man. I have mixed feelings. Sam Darnold's just kind of being Sam Darnold. 16 of 23, so he wasn't that inefficient, but only 23 passing attempts. The start of this game, I don't know. It didn't feel like we were differing enough from the Ryan Grubb offense, and I was like, we need to have a different identity than we did last year. And I mean, we did end up running the ball a lot, which was good. Charbonnet was fantastic. Honestly, on the day. I mean, it was split carries between both backs, but he was very efficient with the ball. Had our rushing touchdown. Was that our only touchdown?
Possibly.
I don't know why I'm blanking on that. Yeah, that was our only score.
Yeah.
In the end zone. So, you know, I have a little bit of mixed feelings so far about him, but I think he's gonna grow with the offense, and his accuracy wasn't bad. It felt like kind of where we were starting with Geno last year, which there's nothing wrong with that.
If I could describe Sam Darnold in one word, I would say right now, potential.
Nice.
He has not shown me enough to be where I can get behind him fully and be like, we should be paying this guy to be our quarterback, $20,000 million, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, he threw for 150 yards.
Yeah.
He looked okay. But nothing that really stood out to me of like, this guy is the next guy.
Yeah, no.
So potential. There's still a lot of the season to go, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think that, you know, besides Sam Darnold, the other guy you got is Drew Lock, who, I mean, he did well for us when we were those years after we lost Russell Wilson. Kind of came in and did his job, and then you get Geno. I don't necessarily think Drew Lock's a good enough guy to be a starter. I think definitely you're still going to be leaning on Sam Darnold as your starter because he's the only guy in that room who's actually good enough, I think, to be a starting QB. Jalen Milroe needs some more time to develop. That's another guy I'd use potential for, like a lot of potential with Jalen Milroe. But yeah, no, just Sam Darnold just needs, I think, just a little bit more time to get used to this offense, to get used to the way things are working. And the other thing we got to talk about too is the other new addition, Cooper Kupp, got like no targets. No targets. That's a guy you brought in to kind of be a difference maker. And Grant, I'm not going to sit here and say that Cooper Kupp is, he's still prime Cooper Kupp. He was a Super Bowl MVP if I'm remembering correct. I don't think he's going to be like that. But do I think he's still got some mileage left in him? If you give him the ball, he'll be an impact player. Yeah. So I don't know what they're doing not targeting him enough. I think that's just like a huge waste of a guy you just signed.
Yeah, Sam Darnold needs to target other people that's not JSN. But JSN just gets open because he's so good.
Yeah.
But he needs to target other people in the pass game, and we just need to do a better job overall as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Jason though was cooking their top corner on the outside consistently. He had that one ball that just floated right over the top, and he was about there for an over the shoulder catch. I think he dropped that one unfortunately, but it was they were consistently finding him with the ball. That last drive, he had that big catch over the middle of the field that got us what it was like 30 yards, something like that. He was doing fantastic. So nothing wrong with that. And if he's gonna keep getting open against especially teams that have poor, like not as good secondaries, I'm okay with doing it. But yeah, we gotta get this guy going. We signed him like with the intention for him to be our number 2 guy, and so far we're not passing to him like it, and he's also not getting open like it.
Yeah, no. You want to talk about cooking the defense? Reek Woolen got cooked by the San Francisco offense. I don't know. There was basically, really, when it comes down to it, was 2 main plays on the last drive the 49ers had to get them the go-ahead touchdown. He has had 2 plays where he just did not at all. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was like a lack of effort. It was just like a lack of IQ on the play. He just there was one where he tried. He looked like he was trying to go for the interception. He cut back and then ends up going over his head into the hands of the receiver. And it was in the end zone. He could have potentially batted away, get an interception. He just wasn't able to break it up. So again, I'm not going to sit here and say that was all Reek Woolen's fault. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that it was unfortunate that those 2 kind of mental mistakes happened. But at the end of the day, it was more of a team loss for the Seahawks. But I know how you guys are feeling about the Reek Woolen situation coming into week 2.
It's disappointing. I'm not gonna be throw this guy away. I'll say it for fun, but he's still a good corner.
Yeah.
But you're up against a 3rd string tight end, and you're floating away from the ball in the end zone. That it just lands in the tight end's hands. It's what are you doing? You're cornerback 1. Something's got to change because he let up that last drive. Yeah, it was all him.
Yeah, for sure. There was just multiple occasions where he looked lost. He mistimed his jump. Brock Purdy, I wouldn't say he was having a fantastic game. No. It was a solid game. But some of these passes, it's just we got a couple turnovers off Brock Purdy, but it's come on, man. Really, I don't know. The secondary, there was a lot of ups and downs, and I feel good about the rest of the secondary. But Reek Woolen's a spot where I just feel like it's a weakness, and I don't know. I think we might need to switch some things up.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the highlight of a lot of 49ers year because week 1 win against the Seahawks, but then Brock Purdy gets hurt, George Kittle is hurt, Jake Moody looked bad, and they dropped him. He's signed with the Bears now, so it's yeah, good for you 49ers fans. You got week 1 win against the Seahawks, but I don't think you're going to do very much for the rest of the year. So, yeah.
The thing is, this was the game to capitalize on because we looked good. We had the lead for a little bit. We were really putting the pressure on them, and then just last minute they turned it around. And I don't know, the defense again. I'm feeling good about holding them to 10 points almost up until the end of the game, and then Reek giving up that last touchdown. We have the potential to get there, but the offense is going to also have to pull their weight too. So.
Yeah, we did everything we could to lose that game at the end. It was real bad.
Yeah.
But looking to this next week, I think that we could get a win.
Yeah. Against the Steelers.
Yeah, against the Steelers. I think we just can't have prime Aaron Rodgers out there.
Yeah. he's not looking washed at all. I mean, because I was thinking back to that last season with the Jets, he didn't look too good, and now thinking about it is probably just because he was on the Jets. Like the Jets are just not good, so it's like that's gonna make you look not as good as you are. You're on a better team with the Steelers, who made the playoffs last year. Russell Wilson was leading them to the playoffs. There's another guy who's not washed. I mean, Russell Wilson looking pretty good. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers was looking pretty tight. And you got DK, who had a pretty good game in that as well. So it's a revenge game for DK going against the Seahawks. I don't know. I don't know if I share the same confidence. I think Seahawks might start out the year 0-2. Going against a really good Steelers team. I kind of want to know what you're thinking about this, Connor.
I am feeling 0-2 energy as well.
Yeah.
Again, like I'm not gonna say the Steelers team looks like I don't know. They don't look like the division winners of the AFC North by any means or anything like that. But this is a Mike Tomlin run team, and they are going to rack up enough wins to probably get themselves into the postseason. They always do.
Yep.
They're always just slightly above 500. That's how their brand of football's been, and I think they're poised to have a really good start. Now they did play the Jets, but also the Jets have been known to have a solid defense over the past 5 or 6 years. And again, I'm not saying this was going to be a top 5 defense, but they have the potential to be a top 10 almost every single season. And so for them to go out there and score 30-plus points on that defense, I think the Steelers have to be feeling good. And now this game at home for them, I think they're looking at a win. Now they're facing, arguably, with the way the Seahawks played in Week 1, I think they're facing a little bit better of a secondary than they did with the Jets. But we'll see. I think there is potential for it to be close, but yeah.
Although we do have a lot of injuries on defense now, so it worries me a little bit. Like, our secondary's strong, but Witherspoon is doubtful.
Yeah.
And so who knows if we can really scrape out a good secondary, because we're missing a couple of our top guys.
Yeah. Coming into this year, like, the offense wasn't wowing me, but the reason why I was kind of still on the Seahawks hype wagon was because of defense. And now the defense is kind of holding on by a bit of a threat. And then Requel and don't know what's going on there. So it's like, now it's just like kind of all the faith in the Seahawks kind of gets like sucked out of me, because it's like didn't have very much faith in the offense, and now the defense, which was kind of holding me together, is not really there in the same format. I'm not super confident going into the Steelers game. Do I think we're gonna get blown out by the Steelers? No, they're the Steelers. I don't think they're gonna be. They're not something like we're playing the Eagles, right? And the Eagles are gonna just absolutely destroy us. But I think that the Steelers might give us a bit of a tough matchup.
The Seahawks have the Eagles number, okay?
Oh, Drew Lock.
Drew Lock has the Eagles number. If we were going against the Eagles, Drew Lock would be quarterback 1.
Honestly, yeah. I love that. That's the thing I love about football. When teams, like, they play each other, like, every couple years or something like that. So you just get, like, those matchups like that with the Seahawks versus the Eagles. What was that, 2 years ago, I think? 2, 3?
Something like that.
It's got to be 2 seasons ago at this point.
So it was kind of before they were. I mean, actually, back then they were still good back then. So that was a bit of an anomaly that we kind of snuck out a win against them. So still, Drew Lock's just. You're right. He's got the Eagles number, man. But still, I don't know. That Steelers game is going to be a bit of an interesting game to watch. The other storyline I want to talk about too is the running back situation. I mean, I was thinking it was going to be K9 was going to get most of the touches in that first week, but they kind of got split, not perfectly evenly, but it leaned a little bit more heavily towards Charbonnet. Who, I mean, I'm a certified Charbonnet lover. I love him. I think he's great. I kind of want to ask you guys what you're thinking about that running back room.
We talked about this before the start of the season, and I mean, I think everybody was still down with K9 being the starter, not only because he has looked good in spurts before, but also it seemed just like the logical choice how we were feeling. But I don't know. I think something in training camp, especially with K9 being out for those last couple, I think it was week or 2 of training camp, and Zach Charbonnet getting a chance to get a lot of those first team reps. I think that's. I know Mike McDonald, doesn't have a say over everything, but I think him personally, not only Clint Kubiak, but also him, I feel like they are just leaning a little bit towards Charbonnet. And I could really see after that first game, the carry count, the touches, just shifting further and further in his direction. Maybe we get to the point where it's like 70-30 by week 4, week 5 in favor of Zach Charbonnet.
Kenneth Walker has not impressed me. He impressed. I think it was his rookie year or the year after, his second year, but in a while he has not impressed me.
Yeah.
When do we have the conversation that he's not a starter anymore?
Yeah.
Like, Zach Charbonnet has impressed me. This guy he's a bulldozer.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's such an efficient runner too. I mean, he proved last game. Just there's been a reason he's been my fantasy sleeper over the past few years.
Yeah.
It's just like when he the games he does like get the volume of touches, he just seems to produce. And I mean, obviously, not every game's going to be a 80-yard rushing game, but he's produced plenty of those. And again, just quickly looking at K9 stats, it's gone down every year. He started out with 1,000-yard seasons right away. It's like, oh, we found a gem in the draft. Like, look at us go. We finally have another good running back after we've had some turmoil over the years. But ever since then, the next year was 900 yards, and then only 12 games played last year. And then this year, the first game's the first game. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, Gaige. Like, even for as long as he's been here, he hasn't really wowed me. Everyone's always talked about, man, K9's really great. He's obviously our starting running back. He's super awesome and everything. I'm like, what are you guys saying? Like, I mean, he's looked okay. He hasn't been great. You know who's been just as good as him? Charbonnet. Charbonnet's been just as good as him. And he's been getting better every single year. So it's like what you're saying, like where K9's kind of gotten worse every single year. Charbonnet's been doing the opposite. Charbonnet's been just getting like better and better and better, it feels like, every single year. And Charbonnet is kind of McDonald's guy. Like, you can tell with the way he talks about Charbonnet, the way he kind of hypes him up. McDonald likes Charbonnet. So if I'm K9, I'm not necessarily worried for my job, but I'm worried that he might not have a place on the Seahawks for very much longer. That's the one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is, with Charbonnet looking like he may be running back number 1 for this team, do the Seahawks trade Kenneth Walker?
I think that it's possible. We talked a little bit about this before, but I think we could get something for him.
Yeah.
Compared to, but like he's not improving.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's degrading, and so what can we get for him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Another thing I mentioned before the pod was the Eagles just traded for Tank Bigsby, and they gave up a 5th and a 6th. It's like, holy cow, Jaguars! You just fleece of a trade, right?
Yeah.
2 late round picks for a second string on his best day, 3rd string running back, right? So maybe there is something, but he's like you said, last year of his deal, he'd be a rental. I don't know. I just can't picture there's more than like 20 teams out there being like. I think there are like 20 teams out there being like, I don't know if he's better than my RB1 right now.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think this is just we'll do split back for a bit, and if Charbonnet keeps improving, I think K9 just kind of turns a little bit more into a situational back. End of year, we let him go. Hopefully he goes and finds a situation where he can get some more carries, some more touches, because I think when he's at his best, when he's healthy, he can be an average starting running back in the NFL. But that's the thing. The 2 keys are staying healthy and efficient running, and that's not always something I believe in with the guy.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about it off air, the fact that his contract is expiring, in the year, and you mentioned like letting him go. I don't like letting players go. Something about me, just like you're getting nothing for this guy.
No value.
No value. It irks me to my core, where it's like, why would you not try and get something for him? So that's where it's like, his contract is expiring. It would be a tough sell to a lot of teams because he would be a rental. You have to re-sign him, and you have to give something up. So that's where I think I was about to say the Mariners. The Seahawks are going to have to probably throw in another player with that for that kind of trade package to be able to sweeten the pot, kind of, to be able to get those teams to want to actually go for that trade deal. And like you're saying, that's not that he doesn't have any value, probably a 5th or 6th round pick. But you could still get something for him. And that's the thing. It's right. I'd rather do that than release him, because it just, to me, that always feels like a waste of the potential of this guy to be able to just get something for him. But looking at this Steelers game tomorrow, what are your guys' score predictions for how you think this game's going to turn out?
I don't know, man. I'm a little all over the place with this game. I don't really know what to think. With the way the Steelers' offense looked in that first game, I think there's a lot of potential for them to score a lot of points. And our secondary is a little bit banged up right now, or just the defense in general. I don't know. I'm going to go Steelers 23, Seahawks 17.
Interesting.
I'm going to go the opposite of you.
Nice.
I'm going to go Seahawks 23, Steelers 17.
Okay. I like the optimism.
Yeah, I have faith. I don't know how long it'll last, but I have faith right now.
Yeah. I think there's a voice in my head that's saying the Seahawks are going to kind of piece things together. Clint Kubiak's going to have a better week 2, where he's going to kind of figure out how to play call with these Seahawks. But then I have a really bad feeling there's like knowing DK, it's going to be like he's just going to want to put up a game against his former team, right? And I worry that Aaron Rodgers is going to start to turn back into prime Aaron Rodgers potentially. So I think maybe this might be a bit of an anomaly, but I think it's going to be Steelers about maybe around 30, Seahawks maybe only going to put up about 14 or something like that, which that feels like a blowout. But I don't know. I mean, I think the Steelers are just kind of a really bad team for us to be playing week 2. I think they have the potential to just kind of sneak something out against us.
Do we see DK's attitude against the Seahawks?
Ooh. Who's the other receiver with him? It's Kenny Pickett on the Steelers. Who's the other crash out wide receiver?
Or no, they traded him. George Pickens.
George Pickens. Also, he's not on the team anymore.
No, he's on Dallas, I believe.
Oh, interesting. They couldn't have 2 crash out wide receivers on the same team together, huh? No. That's the thing. I wonder if there's going to be some smack talk. To be honest with you, it felt like DK was the only real smack talker on our team, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else, right? Like, you know, the closest comparison would have been like Richard Sherman back in the day. Witherspoon.
Right now is Witherspoon.
Yeah, probably. But even then, it's not even to the same extent that I think.
But he might not even play.
Yeah.
He's doubtful.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. DK is kind of in his own brand of being just not a bully, but he's just like that. He gets fired up too much at times. That's part of the reason why I didn't necessarily like him in a Seahawks jersey, because he just, you know, you'd have a rushing play where like you pick up like a 30-yard rush or something like that, and then he gets called back because he's just like throwing hands with some CB downfield, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, we had a good play there, and you just ruined it. What are you doing? So potentially you see his tempers flare, but I wonder if, you know, he knows that this is a big game. He knows he's playing against his former team. He knows that they're going to try and get in his head. I wonder if maybe he has a bit of a calmer day, and he just kind of calms down because, you know, maybe for him he's got something to prove, where he's going to be playing for the Steelers, and he knows that the Seahawks, one of the gripes they had with him was his attitude. So I wonder if he kind of turns it around and isn't that kind of crash out against us.
I don't think he will be, because I don't think there's anyone really to go against him in that way.
Yeah.
If Witherspoon's not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's DK Metcalf.
At the end of the day.
He's done some stuff where I'm like, bro,
What are we doing?
come on. We get like a 40-yard pass, and then it's a
Flag
penalty for him because he's throwing hands with someone
Yeah.
on the left side of the field.
We are on the road, and it's in Pittsburgh. I don't know. I mean, like, obviously the crowd's gonna fuel his energy a little bit, but I don't know. I think if he was in Seattle, there's so much more pressure, so much more crowd interaction that would happen, and I think his ego might get to him a little bit, and then the crowd's, you know, antics might get to him a little bit. So in Pittsburgh, I think it'll be a little bit calmer.
Yeah. No. I'm looking forward to that game. 10 a.m. tomorrow. Steelers versus Seahawks for week 2. You know, again, not the most optimistic about that, but you know, we'll see how it pans out for the Seahawks. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Slice of Seattle. Thank you so much, Connor. Thank you so much, Gaige, for being in the booth today. What do you guys got before we send it away?
The Cougs are looking cooked right now.
Oh, man.
It's 0-14, and there's 7 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah, I love college football Saturdays, but not when the Cougs are down. But hey, we've got the Mariners on the rise.
Yep.
That's all I need to, you know, keep my day going. So
Have faith.
Have faith. We believe.
Yeah,
Ugh.
we believe here. That's the identity of the Mariners. Believe, man. That's all we got to do. Same thing for the Cougs. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Slice of Seattle. Thank you all so much for listening. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube and tune in to this station every single Saturday at 12 to catch every single episode. Thank you guys so much. And again, it's a great day to have a great day. And go Cougs.